I feel like they're not really teaching directing in film school. I've just come out of acting school working with teachers who really try to get into your psychology. And now you're on a set and the director's like, oh, that was good.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Or like, or can you just cry?
What are you guys being taught at film school? We've seen so many films where everything's shot so nicely and then the acting is absolutely if I'm being honest.
They just want to move on, like, oh yeah, it looked nice for me, like I want to move on. But I oftentimes have to put my foot down a little bit and say, no, I'm sorry, we're doing another take here. Because an actor could get the performance in the first take, but it's having range when you go and edit. Because when you go and edit, maybe that didn't work. So you want to do another take that's a different way. So when you go into the edit as a director, you're like, oh, I didn't see that working at all, but actually that works so well. We've been in the industry for a while now, worked with a lot of different people.
Yeah, I think that because we haven't been to film school, if I'm being very honest, sometimes filmmakers don't treat us with the respect, like as we have been to film school.
Yeah. I think it's because we're actors first, and we were actors first, and then in the industry, there's such a thing of like, you can't be an actor and a filmmaker. Like, you're either really good at one and like maybe okay at the other, but you can't be good at both.
But I think that's a bit ridiculous. And it's like anything in life, if you work hard enough, then hard work beats talent. And I still think luckily we both actually are quite talented on the other side of the camera. It's just like how you naturally are good at writing, and for me, I'm always been like since I was born, I've been very creative and artistic, and I think that's translated to when I'm doing like the shots and like visualizing things as well. But of course, we started from the ground up, and we worked on it every single day for years and years and years, and like I mean, until now, we still talk about film every single day. And that's the type of mentality, I think, that can trump something like going to film school.
Yeah, well, I think like because we haven't gone to film school, we've learnt in a very different way. And I think we approach filmmaking in quite a different way. I mean, like, I don't think you have to go to film school to be a good filmmaker.
Well, it's funny because the one thing I noticed about film school and the film students that come out is I might be wrong, but the common thing, since we've worked on so many projects with so many people, is that the filmmakers always like to concentrate on the shots over everything else. And I think it's very different from us as a company because both of us are actors first and we think like an actor. And when we visualize our stories, we write stories which is like character eccentric as opposed to, oh, this shot can look like this or that. So I think that's a big difference.
Yeah, that is something that I really even noticed before we started filmmaking. So like when I was just acting before I met you, and I was auditioning all the time, like so much for this like 1 year out of acting school. And I was like just really trying to get into a lot of indie projects. And even when I would get on the set and I would be working with different directors who had come out of film school, it was always like a very similar vibe where like I feel like they're not really teaching directing in film school. I feel like that's the main thing that, like you said, they were always focused on, oh, does this shot look good? Oh, okay, now you can act. Oh, just one take, that's fine. Or like they just would not know how to communicate with an actor because like I've just come out of acting school working with teachers who really try to get into your psychology and bring things out. And now you're on a set and the director's like, oh, that was good.
Let's move on.
Or like, or can you just cry?
Yeah. It's the lack of directing. I've definitely had that when I first started acting too. A lot of the indie projects that I took on and the other projects, like it was just directing very like, like, can you just do this or can you do this less? And I was like, as an actor, I don't think that's how it works. Like, what are you guys being taught at film school? Are you just being taught how to use reds and aries and how to make shots look cinematic and beautiful and nice? And then for acting, it's just like the bottom of the barrel. Like we've seen so many films where everything's shot so nicely and then the acting is absolutely if I'm being honest. Like, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
that's the reality. Like, I remember when we did the Lost Focus premiere at Sydney Indie, and there was another film playing apart from yours, and that film literally looked like it had a 100K plus budget. Like,
Yeah,
it
I
looked
remember
like a B-list blockbuster
that.
film.
Yeah.
The way it was shot, it was like black and white, and it was all action, and the acting was just so like caricature, and I think that takes away from the project. It's like if you invest into the acting as much as you did in terms of the shots and stuff, you could make something really great.
Yeah, like obviously all the elements in a film work together to tell the story, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, it's the director and the actors, the face of the project, that are really driving the story to the audience. So if the directing is bad and the acting is bad, even if it looks nice, you're just going to tune out.
Well, you know what they say is that the shots are meant to guide or go move with the story and the action. And I always hear cinematographers, DOPs, indie directors say that, yeah, I'll do it. But then it never happens. And I think it's such a letdown. And look, I don't blame the indie filmmakers for being like this. It's like it's the kind of the thing that it's not the student. You have to look at who is the teacher. Who are these people in these film schools teaching them that, oh, directing is just a basic thing or it can come last. But it's like, but the biggest thing that makes a project move is the actors. That's the subject.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I feel like because the acting school I went to had a filmmaking division as well, but they never really had much interaction. Like the filmmakers had to make a film, so they just go to the actors and be like, oh, can I just get you in the project, whatever. But I think that they should actually be incorporating it where the filmmakers have to take an acting class.
Yeah, that would be.
Because even just 1 week, you'll finally get, oh, this is how actors think, and this is how I need to be communicating to them to get a good performance. And this is what a good performance looks like. Because that's the other thing. People don't know what a good performance looks like if they haven't watched good acting and like things like that. And they just assume, oh, that person's yelling. Oh, yay, that looks sick on the shot. Like,
It looks sick. It looks like there's something happening, but is this real? Like, do people really act like this in real life, or is this an over-the-top performance? Because it's like if you are a true actor, acting should reflect life. You should have truth in every performance, and I don't think there's any truth in a lot of these projects, and it just frustrates me a lot. It's because a lot of these, like again, I don't blame the students because I know a lot of them have aspirations to do things like what Christopher Nolan does or Tarantino, but you get to this level and okay, now all of a sudden you have to direct an actor like Joaquin Phoenix, Matthew McConaughey, Helen Mirren. How are you going to do this? Are you just going to tell them some basic shit? Like, you can't do that. You have to know how to drive your subject because your subject is the tool for your story. They go from point A to point B. That's what the audience connects with. The audience doesn't connect with, oh wow, what a beautiful shot, and then they just leave. Like
I think that's what filmmakers connect with. Like majority of filmmakers, oh, that's a good shot. But an actual audience watching isn't really like, they're usually like, oh, I love that character. But that's, as you were saying, like that's the thing. Like a lot of them love like Christopher Nolan, Tarantino, but look at the performances within those films as well. It doesn't just look good. The reason the film is good is because it's got great performances as well.
Yeah. Well, in saying that, what would you say are some ways, like you said before, like taking an acting class, like what would you say are some ways that, because I don't think they're being taught that well in film school. So what would you say if you could say something?
I mean, I think the acting class is probably the best one you can do because you're getting into a class, you're understanding how you need to understand how actors think in order to speak to them and get them to a good performance. And I would also say like watching some great performances for the performance, not for the shots. Because if you don't know what a good performance looks like, you can't direct it when you're on set. Like, because we're actors, every time we are on a set, and our recent one, you know, the filmmakers oftentimes they just want to move on, like, oh yeah, it looked nice for me, like I want to move on. But I oftentimes have to put my foot down a little bit and say, no, I'm sorry, we're doing another take here. Because it's not just like an actor could get the performance in the first take if they're very talented. But it's not about, oh, let's move on after that. It's having range when you go and edit, because when you go and edit, maybe that didn't work. So you want to do another take that's a different way, or you want to do another take that gives the actor freedom to do whatever they've prepped. So when you go into the edit as a director, you're like, oh, I didn't see that working at all, but actually that works so well now.
Well, one thing I would like to build upon that is for filmmakers, indie ones especially, don't focus too much on the master shot, because where the performance is, it's here. This is where you're going to capture people's hearts, and this is where you can either inspire people, make them hate this character, make them love this character. It's all here. This is the money shot right here. And I see a lot of them, they like to focus on these master shots and these wides, and like, I would say just, yeah.
Yeah, that's happened many times on many sets, even I've been on as an actor. Even one we worked on together. I think we shot about 17 takes of a wide and then maybe 2 shots of a close.
I don't remember that one.
But I mean, people are still learning as well, so.
Yeah, look, all I have to say is the footage looks great. If you want to go to the next level, make the acting great, because you're almost there. You're so skilled, these guys, at using the best quality cameras and framing the shots and the colors and the lighting. It all looks beautiful. But if you can have a subject that's equally as captivating, man, you got something. Like, you have magic. So don't lose hope. Like, that's just one thing that I wanted to get off my chest, because I do realize it happens a lot.
Well, I mean, I guess the other thing is for them to really think about which roles in crew that they really want to do and are passionate about. Because I think there is also a lot of filmmakers coming out of film school who want to create a project, and because it's something they're passionate about, they're like, okay, let me just film it and direct it as well. But like, maybe you're more passionate about actually DOP, so why don't you go and find a director who's passionate about directing and just collaborate with them?
That's true.
And that'll make a better project than trying to take on everything, even if you're not really passionate about one thing.
That's true. In saying that though, I still think even the cinematographer needs to understand how the shots work in terms of the subject. So they need to work closely together. That's the thing.
A good director and a DOP is a very good, strong combo.
Well, finally, I just want to talk about, people who they don't really want to go to film school, and, what sort of things should we tell them about, oh, maybe they feel like, I don't know if I should go to film school. Is it a waste of money, or am I going to learn a lot? Like, is film school helpful, and do you need it to succeed in this industry?
I don't think you need it to succeed if you're very motivated. So I think it would give you a good foundation if you know nothing about film and how things work. And if you are looking to go into the technical side of things, then it's probably good. But in terms of specifically directing and producing, but even in general, I think you don't have to go. I think you really just need to
Just get on set.
Get on set and work. I mean, yeah, we haven't been to film school, but we calculated it the other day that the amount of sets we've created through our work and been on is over 100.
It's over 100.
Like, that's crazy.
Definitely. And, well, a lot of people know this story is that, I bought a camera one Christmas, well, almost 7 years ago, and I went out shooting every single day, and I just learned through that. And especially like things like YouTube, or, there's so many resources out there that you can just constantly learn from. And it really is like, it's like anything in life, it's all up to you. You know, film school, like you said, it's great for teaching you the technical aspects, how to use this, what buttons work like that. But all this stuff you can kind of learn on your own, or if you can just get a group of friends who are very keen and determined to do it, then I think you can succeed regardless.
Yeah, you really just need to get on sets 100%. Because getting on a set also gives you the confidence to keep going and move forward. Because I've worked, we worked with a few people, and some of them they'd been in film school, but they hadn't been on many sets. And so when they went onto our set, they were kind of like anxious and a bit panicky because it's like, oh shit, now I'm actually on a set and I actually have to do this and that. So getting comfortable being on a set and knowing how it works as well.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, no, I don't know what to say. I mean, that was good. All right.
You just always want the final word.